What if the biggest Justin Bieber story was never about fame, but about the people around him behind closed doors? Now, old clips, hidden connections, and Joe Rogan's recent comments had the internet asking one chilling question. What was really going on in Hollywood when Bieber was a kid?
One thing and you mix it with another thing, then it hardens. But if you add some in that's not supposed to be there and it's fully developed,
right,
you're not going to take that out. Like if you added oil, you threw some oil in the epoxy, like, now you f***ed that whole thing up. That's kind of what you're doing to a person when you raise a person famous. If you take some reality star from the time they're 5 and then they're in a sitcom and a movie and then you've gone through your whole, I don't know why I said reality star, but you've gone through your whole life if you're that person. If you're Justin Bieber, you've gone through your whole life.
Under that eye.
Under the eye, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and more people paying attention. Like you never had a moment like you did where you're working for the railroad tracks.
Right.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
Joe Rogan just opened a conversation that Hollywood tried to shut down for years. And now people are looking back at old Justin Bieber clips in a whole new light. Rogan wasn't discussing headlines or rumors. He was discussing trends. A kid who got too famous too young and was always around powerful people and never got to have a normal life. As those old ties between Bieber, Diddy, and Ellen began resurfacing, the internet began to ask questions no one used to ask. Because when you go back and watch those moments now, there's something about them that feels way more uncomfortable than it felt back then.
No, it's great. So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up to
No,
any
well,
of them.
is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one at your house.
Where's that? Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really? That early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, I know about them.
Oh.
Is that going to be a new thing? Are you going to try to be early?
Yes, I'm trying to be early.
Are you going to be early for my party?
Yes, I am. No.
No.
I have to arrive fashionably late.
All right. Not too late, though.
Not too late?
Not too late, please.
What time would you like me there?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But not too late. Because, once you get there, the party really starts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you. I promise you I'm not going to let you down on this big one.
All right,
For
good.
real.
Good.
Your shoes, your feet are going to have blisters. You're going to be dancing so hard.
I can't wait.
And when Rogan brought Ellen into the discussion, people started to look less at celebrity friendships and more at the circles these stars ran in behind closed doors. Powerful environments are not accidental. Someone always controls access and introductions and who is invited in. Bieber was a teenager coming into an industry of fame, money, and influence he couldn't yet understand. It felt like mentorship at first. Usher, opening doors, guiding him, helping him grow. But one of those doors eventually led straight to Diddy. And then the questions started getting darker. Why would a grown man be spending so much private time with someone so young? And why did those situations sound normal back then, but super weird today?
Tired of being played out. Like all of this is weird. And it's just, it's the symbolism, it's all of that. I'm tired of Usher. I wish somebody would come out and just like sue him. Like we need Usher sued. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him. Because what I'm realizing is that he's gonna fake the funk into the victim, man. He's just gonna keep on sucking the devil's. And I don't know, like with a baby, that pacifier, sometimes you gotta pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away, right? When the babies used to sucking on the pacifier.
Then old footage began to surface again. Diddy joked about having Bieber shadow him for 2 days, talking about experiences he couldn't really describe publicly. And Rogan said something simple but powerful. mystery doesn't usually come with real mentorship. So what was happening behind the scenes that could not be spoken about openly? Because now, when people revisit those clips, it's not just the words that jump out. It's the energy behind them.
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48?
On there.
Yeah. Then no, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
Having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
And it's here the story drifts away from fame into something much more serious. Bieber's emotional interviews, his breakdowns, the way he talks about wanting to protect younger artists. People started to feel like pain came from something personal. Bieber himself has spoken about the difficulty of growing up around people who said they loved him, but who disappeared as soon as things changed. And Rogan connected back to the environment itself. When a kid walks into rooms of mighty grown-ups, nobody is responsible for just one thing. It's on everyone who stood there watching.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. I just want to protect her, I don't want her to.
That's why Ellen's name keeps coming up in the discussion. Not for a second, but for how connected she seemed to the very same Hollywood circle. And then people started asking about Diddy's environment, and they started asking about everyone who was comfortable around it. Rogan did not frame it as just a series of incidents, but as a repeating system. Young stars entering powerful spaces too early, only to leave emotionally damaged later. And once people saw that pattern, more names started getting thrown into the mix.
All of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care. I grew up to be men. Boys like Bashir Gray. August Alsina. Your own son. Like, your own son.
On there.
Yeah. Then no, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them.
About that voice clip that I played from Brother Belial. They're trying to send him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present that tape.
It's just great. I'm watching him, he's with my man Charlie Mack. So Charlie was with me every step of the way. First out the limo. So Charlie has been with me, 30 years coming up in the business. So, he's surrounded by a whole lot of strength. He's surrounded by a whole lot of love.
That's when the conversation started going way beyond just Bieber. Names like Brashear Gray, August Alsina, even Jaden Smith began to be mentioned in broader debates about young celebrities growing up around elite Hollywood circles. Different stories, different experiences, but people saw similar results. Emotional struggles, public breakdowns, careers falling apart under pressure. Rogan's point was not to prove one giant conspiracy. It was asking, why did so many young artists walk into the same type of environments and come out totally changed afterwards?
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, you know, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. I devoted myself.
You and I were going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your ass.
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, you know, I think from there, you know, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
And finally, the biggest question isn't simply what happened to Justin Bieber, it's who let these situations happen around him in the first place. Usher presented him. Diddy hung out with him. Ellen lived in that same world of celebrities.
No, I know about them.
And now old clips that people once laughed at are hard to watch. It's not because the footage changed. It's because public consciousness changed. And perhaps that's why this discussion is receiving so much attention at this moment. Because people don't look at Hollywood through the same lens anymore. Now people are asking, are these just coincidences? Or signs of a system that has protected the powerful for years, while young stars paid the price behind the scenes?